Pepsi's here, we may need to do a rotation. If you want to, Red, we usually do last place rotates out. Or, we could put it all on the line. And we could say last place rotates out, including me. And if I get rotated out, I have to try and commentate it like a sports commentator. How does that... There's no way... Did I actually get last? Do I abide? I didn't agree to anything, but I'll do it. I just think it's gonna be cringe. As long as you promise me it won't be cringe. I said it because I was so sure I wasn't gonna get last on Noble Fernet. And I'll... Pretty standard board. We have training programs, so it's pretty evenly matched regardless of whether you're an aggro or a non-aggro character. Field events, we got regen and sprint. Mostly positive. Sprint will potentially cause some aggroness to happen, but likely, considering our cast of characters, well, I don't know, because we have, you know, we have Watty, who wants to be fought and stack and go ham, and we have Suguri 46, who kind of wants to do more passive damage, Kai, who's, you know, might pop off as the protagonist, and May, who also is trying to stack. We'll see how it goes. Pretty standard starting things off. Watty's got a nice lead up to 10 stars already, ready to ready to get up to the next level. Guy's out here fighting a chicken, but nothing comes from it because both parties evade. May has a card magnet, apparently. Is 46 billion a rough matchup for Watty because she wants to do all the passive damage? That makes sense. Watty gets a very quick level 2 on turn 3. I wish I could see people's cards. It's good that I can't, so that I can't just spoil everyone's hands, but, you know. I appreciate the input from the player, revealing that they are kind of screwed on May with a level 4 card in hand. Hopefully they can get a hyper and go ahead and discard their entire hand. Watty's already got some nice scales early on. Already at max stacks, already a scary contender. Suguri gets 7 gold, but manages to survive. Kai's out here picking pumpkins, and May is continuing to be upset that she can't drop anything. Aru bonk. I'm still out here complaining that we don't have a Mimyu bonk emote in game. I mean, come on. May lands on somebody else's home, gets up to be the second person to level 2. Sprint turn, Watty's got +1 attack from Amplify. She might go ham. She does have full stack. She's gonna go ahead and start the fight with May. Rolling a 4, it's a pretty solid roll. Gets the kill on May. Starts out getting 2 wins. If she was level 1, that might be an easy way to level 3, but unfortunately she has chosen Stars Noma as her level 2. Suguri manages to hit level 2 as well. And as well as Kai. Actually, should I be saying people's names or their characters? Okay, I'm gonna switch to saying players' names. This is gonna be hard for me. Pretty good start. No, I'm gonna say character names. Pretty good start for Watty. It's just easier for me. Pretty good start for Watty. She did have all of her stacks fall off, but she was able to get a nice lead in the early game with it. Of course, anything can happen. It is orange juice after all. Kai's struggling with a chicken. May gets back up. We're going to be eagerly watching May's movements to see if she makes her way towards draw panels. Honestly, that Unlucky Charm was an interesting move because it could have gone to May and allowed her to freely discard that level 4 card. Watty gets a nice amount of stacks from fighting Kai and is well equipped to fight a 7 goal, who turns out to be a 6 goal and deal even more damage. There are a lot of fights happening, there just aren't a lot of kills happening as Suguri immediately challenges Kai. Might take a lot of damage. Nope, they both roll high on attack and defense. Decides not to fight the Watty. Watty does have the max stacks. She would be scary if you don't manage to one-shot her. I do respect that decision. Takes the kill on the chicken instead for her first win of the game. Turns out May did find the white Christmasher and will get red and blue, so she's in a nice position to start coming back. I say coming back, it's, you know, it's early game. It's not like anybody was really that behind. Still anybody's game. We got Encounter from Mystery, sorry, Battlefield from Mystery as Watty takes out Kai and a Roboball. It's a nice surplus of wins. I don't know if 5 wins is the level 3 Norma or the level 4 Norma. I'm pretty sure it's the level 3 Norma. Suguri deciding to fight Watty here. Understandable. I didn't pay attention to Suguri's rolls. It might have been a better decision in that case. In purely anticlimactic fashion, dies to the chicken immediately after surviving the fight with the max stacked Watty. Watty draws a card. Suguri doesn't get up. Unlucky Charm goes over to Watty. It's looking like most players are pretty content to just pass around the hot potato of the Unlucky Charm as Kai gets a kill on Watty. Watty, I I think she had her stacks down, so that was a pretty safe Kai fight. Kai, of course, using the power of the protagonist to knock everyone out, as Watty and Suguri are back up and ready to fight. Kai opting not to stick with taking Price of Power. Makes sense. Protagonist Privilege is a level 3 card, but he's just about level 3 anyway. Says, I don't need the Price of Power to help me out. Mei is out for blood, wants revenge on that early kill for Watty from earlier. Only manages to do 1 damage, but it is a no-stack Watty, so it's an easy evade for Mei. How am I doing? Am I doing alright, or is this cringe? What do you think? You can tell me. You can be honest with me. As Watty passes the Unlucky Charm over to Suguri. Suguri now has 4 cards in hand. It's going to be really interesting to see whether Suguri decides to be the one to finally get rid of the Unlucky Charm for good, or if she's going to continue playing with the Unlucky Charm. Decides to hold on to it. Probably going to discard it then. Be the hero that everyone in this game needs, and in fact she does. Unlucky Charm is no longer in play. I'm doing alright. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. Everyone's just taking their turns here. Mei has to make the decision if she wants to land in her own home or fight Kai. Of course, didn't have enough to level up, so she decides to fight Kai with rolls the 7. Not quite enough to get the kill. Kai retaliates with a single damage point. Very close to death here. Will Kai be able to put enough space between himself and Mei to survive this encounter? We shall see. Watty fishing for a hybrid. Doesn't find one. Very, very nice people in the audience. I appreciate it. Kai now has to make the choice to take the heal or the movement panel. Decides to take the heal. Says, Mei, you're not going to be able to roll high enough to catch up to me. Mei rolls a 2, however, gets the movement panel. Gets the second movement panel into fighting Kai. She might be able to kill Kai here. And if she does, she'll be very nicely sent. Ooh, but Kai brings out the Arbits. Of course, Mei rolls a high defense roll. And nobody dies. Mei does not claim the bounty. Does not level up. Playground for mystery on this turn. Let's see if anybody makes use of that. Watty's not given an opportunity. Probably... Oh, well, maybe. Gonna take the movement panel. Gonna take an additional move. Lands on nothing in the end. In anticlimactic fashion. Suguri's about at 30 stars. About ready to level up to level 3. Kai... kind of just minding his own business. What will he decide here? He decides to stop at home. Makes sense. He would have ended his turn 1 space in front of Mei. Could have been a target. Makes sense. Mei, however, gets a lucky roll. Lands on a home panel. Levels up to level 3. Nobody takes the playground offer. Nobody was given a good opportunity to take the playground offer, however. Watty draws a card, gets given Pope of the Snatcher. Very curious to see if she will decide to hang on to that. Considering she's decently tanky, even with the -1 defense that Snatcher offers. Although it might kind of completely counteract her character's passive. We'll see. We'll see what decision they make. Kai fights a robo ball, nothing important, nothing interesting happening there. Players are just maneuvering their way around the board, taking their time. We're all pretty spread out decently. Nobody's really in the mood to fight. Watty does decide to hang on to Poe the Snatcher. Interesting. She's a little less tanky in exchange for being able to steal people's stars. We'll see how that works out. Have you guys seen that basketball video? I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off topic. As Suguri starts to fight with Kai, doesn't quite get the 1-shot. Kai strikes back with a 7. Doesn't get the 1-shot either, as Suguri has her defenses up. Have you guys seen the video of the basketball commentator? Like, the game's over and the two teams are coming to shake each other's hands, and he's like, yeah, pretty good day of basketball, you know, the 2 teams coming out to show each other respect, and never mind! And the one kid, like, punches the other kid in the face.
And a hard-fought battle on both ends. Each team, well, they had their differences, but they're showing good sportsmanship here is never mind!
Sorry, I apologize if I peaked my mic, but that video is so fucking funny. Anyway, back to the game. Ooh, Suguri gets the opportunity to take out Kai. She rolls a 1, however, Kai easily evades it. Kai rolls a 1 in retaliation, which is going to be an easy evade for Suguri as well. Crazy that these 2 low-health players do not manage to defeat each other, both rolling 1s for attack and rolling high for evasion. Suguri, of course, with the +2 evasion, that is an easy dodge for her. A little less easy for Kai, but when it's a 1 you're trying to evade, it's not that bad. Kai's on low health here. Gets a nice heal. Decides not to end his turn in front of Mei. Fair enough. Mei's not quite ready to level up on her own turn. The commentator needs to take a sip of water because his throat is dying. He's been doing this for 5 minutes and already he's dying. As Suguri hits level 3. Pretty even game. Watty's only a single level behind, but she's got enough stars to level up. Mei decides she would rather take on the neutral monster than take on Watty and a drop panel. Fair enough. How many stacks is Watty? Watty is at 0 stacks, but then you're contending with the drop panel at that point, and at that point, is it even worth it? Another playground turn. Players are given a second opportunity to see if they want to play a minigame. We'll see if anybody decides to take it. Suguri pops Observer of Eternity. She's got 2 damaging cards in her hand. They could be good. She could have gotten a rocket cannon, or they could be terrible. She could have gotten Furnace Hyper that I don't remember the name of because it's bad. Fire support, the double damage fire support coming out, hitting herself in the face. Honestly, it's still anybody's game. We're still early on. It's only chapter 20. But we're very approaching. As soon as somebody hits level 4, things are going to start speeding up. As Mei starts a fight with Kai, pops Big Magnum, only does 1 damage. Kai in retaliation also only does 1 damage. Lots of fights going on, but not a lot of kills. I think I said that earlier, but it's continuing to hold true even in the mid game. Suguri 2 turns in a row takes the 2 damage, the 2 damage fire support, 2 pings and she's out. But hey, better to die to it than to live with it and die to somebody else, I suppose. Kai takes a level up, being the first player to hit level 4. Boss will spawn at the start of next turn. None of these players are really want to fight boss. Mei and Watty are probably the best equipped to do so, each having +1 defense, excuse me. Watty joining everyone else at level 3. Sorry, I tabbed out because I saw a Discord notification. Commentator getting distracted. I don't think I missed anything. Players are just taking their turns, meandering around. Suguri pops a second Observer of Eternity, meaning her hand is probably full of damaging cards by this point, as expected of Suguri 2. Or sorry, Suguri 46, not Suguri 2. Discarding the first card, so that's almost certainty. Mei decides to take the heal. Kai's just hanging out, Watty's just hanging out. The pumpkins are pumpkining. The pumpkins are desynced, so we do have to watch one pumpkin take their turn every turn, as Watty uses her 5 wins to climb to level 4 very quickly, joining Kai as the only two players that have level 4. Sora declares war as she pings Kai for 2 damage, bringing Kai down to 1 HP. Kai will now have to make a difficult decision depending on his role, although it is a sprint turn. But the protagonist privilege means you can fight Suguri without retaliation. Rolls a 3, however, and Suguri easily evades it. But Kai does get the heal out of it and doesn't have to end his turn in front of Suguri, so he doesn't have to worry about her fighting him. We get an air raid and a regen on the same turn, so effectively nothing happens. Watty's the first to have to fight the boss. She is +1 defense. She probably will survive this encounter and get a nice amount of scales from it. Suguri meanders around the board. Kai, luckily, had a pudding in his back pocket. Very happy to hit level 4 when he did, so that he could pudding after taking all that beating from Suguri. A nice combination of cards from Kai to keep himself alive. Everybody except for Mei now is level 4, although Mei does have enough stars, is ready to level up as soon as she makes her way back home. Difficult decision for Suguri. Does she want to fight the Watty with only 2 HP? Watty does have 2 stacks, so she's at -1 attack. Suguri is going to take the fight, has Big Magnum, swings with a 6. Unfortunately, Watty with her +1 defense, she's too tanky. She's just too tanky to be fought. She's going to go ahead and hit max stacks off of that and live with 1 HP. Kai's zooming around the board. He's got Windy Enchantment. Honestly, he moved a lot faster than I expected him to. Double Windy? Is that what that is? Oh, you have 2 Windies? Also, I missed it, but Suguri does fight Watty. I believe that was a Suguri started battle and not a Watty started one. Watty can only survive for that long. Kai starts a fight with Suguri, almost out of revenge for killing his fellow player. Fortunately, only manages to do 1 ping damage and take 1 damage in return. I was wondering why Kay was moving so fast. Turns out he has 2 Windy Enchantments in hand, as we can see by mousing over him. Suguri plays the double damage Cloud of Seagulls, takes herself out of the battle. You could argue that that's actually a good thing, because now she'll revive with full HP and 147 stars. And her 147 stars are safe, cannot be stolen while she's dead. Super All-Out mode. Watty plays the Play of the Gods, which triggers Super All-Out mode. We'll have to see if anybody's going to make use of this. Suguri's still not ready to get back up. Kai, on the other hand, with his double Windy Enchantment, is right behind Mei, looking like he's going to be in a nice position to start a fight with Mei and the +2 attack, +3 attack, because he's Kai. Rolls a 2, Mei takes 2 damage, lives with 1 HP. Retaliation attack of her... Fuck, I can't speak. I ruined it. Her own retaliation takes him out with her own Super All-Out mode. Mei is now well into having enough stars to be level 5. Man, I lost it. That sucks. Alright, whatever. Mei plays a second Super All-Out mode, meaning... Okay, they don't stack. I was wondering about that. Mei walks up to Suguri with the Excel Hyper, rolls an 11, manages to take Suguri out, and is now... will have match point at the start of next turn. She does need to level up 1 more time before she can turn it in for the victory. Cloud of Seagulls, played by Watty, takes 2 damage. Deals 2 damage to Mei. discards her unlucky charm. She does have no cards in hand, so if somebody does manage to take Mei out, she will immediately respond with red and blue as she maneuvers her way around the board. Everybody else is under 100 stars. Mei's looking in a great position to win this. She does only have 1 HP, so she is easily killable, but her star count says she's in a great position. Boss down to 5 HP as Watty fights it. Gonna get some nice stacks. I don't think that's max stacks, but it is a lot of stacks. Yeah, 3 stacks, bringing her up to 0 attack. Double Kai continues to zoom around the board. He probably has his eyes set on the 1 HP Mei. That's 107 stars walking around for 1 damage. That's pretty reasonable. A pretty reasonable fight if you're Kai. Or a Watty with like at least 3 stacks. Or Suguri, honestly. It's a pretty reasonable fight for anybody. Mei's gonna have to rely on her red and blue defensive stats to keep herself alive as she tries desperately to get back home and heal. Nice pumpkin pickup for Watty. Watty is now at max pumpkins, as is Kai. Don't know if either of them need to collect pumpkins, but they are at max. If they still need pumpkins, you're happy to see that. As Suguri finally catches up to Mei, only needs to deal 1 damage to take her out. Horrible Pudding was the card that Mei drew, bringing her up to full HP and making it so she only takes 1 damage, and it is not fatal. Mei's up to 3 HP. Suguri dodged the retaliation. The retaliatory attack, if you will. Kai drew Bloodlust, decides not to discard it. He was going to be holding on to Bloodlust for a little longer. Regen tops him up, tops everyone in the game off, honestly. Watty, once again, is the person facing off against the boss. I feel like every time somebody lands on a boss panel, it's Watty. Watty now at max stacks. Wants to be fought, wants to get some fighting, which he's not in a very good board position to do so. Suguri says, I want my money back, and... Oh! Suguri decides to fight Mei again, does not do very much damage, and dies to the retaliation. Kai, with his super all-out mode, only rolls enough to deal 1 damage to Mei. This Mei is insane with her defensive rolls. Kai with the Bloodlust gets himself topped off, so he can continue to chase Mei around the board. She almost certainly will not be able to run away fast enough, as he has the double windy enchantment. Mei with these insanely good defensive rolls. Cannot see her own hand, accidentally discards the red and blue. Instead of playing the other card, presumably, we assume it's a heal or something similar, maybe a sprint. Rolls a 1, lands on the home panel, and is now at a disadvantage. Kai right behind her sees this. He's pretty happy to see this. Gonna take the fight here. Rolls a 6. Even without red and blue, Mei's rolls are insane. Easily survives that attack. It was a dash. Rolls a dash on a sprint turn, gets plenty of faces away, lands on the home panel with 200 stars, ending the game. Even if she didn't, she would have had red and blue on the next turn and would have been in a pretty good position to continue going. Good game, well played, all. Well, that was certainly an interesting experience. I hope it did all right. I thought it was going to be cringe. I hope it wasn't too cringe for y'all.